Hey folks, so this month we decided to get busy again and excited about our mushroom range. We started dealing with medicinal mushrooms and the idea of medicinal mushrooms nearly like 10 years ago, and I remember when I was hearing about them the first time, and they were just all sorts of strange. And I was hearing about this guy Paul Stamets, who worked for a company called New Chapter in the States. He's since moved on from that after they sold to Bayer Pharmaceuticals. And he was talking about them as this great kind of communicator within the ecosystem, so that they have this amazing ability to provide a facility whereby plants can access nutrients from the soil and have them converted essentially and served to them, cooked if you will, by the mushrooms, by the mycelial network. There's this amazing web of mycelium, which are the roots essentially of all these amazing mushrooms. And those mushrooms then draw the nutrients that the plant literally asks for, and then converts them into a version that the plant can eat. Mushrooms can create these like de novo chemicals when it comes across like essentially rocks, and turn those rocks into useful minerals or useful nutrients for trees to eat. And there's some crazy examples like in parts of Canada where they have found actual proteins from salmon inside trees as a result of, so they're on these salmon runs where you see these amazing nature programs where bears are like in the middle of these salmon runs and like swiping at the salmon and devouring them. And so the bits of the salmon that don't make it up to spawn at the top of the riverbed, the mushrooms, as they decompose, mushrooms get access to bits of that salmon and then deliver that to the trees. And it's amazing because the hyphae, which are these like little tiny root structures within the mycelial network, they're wrapped around the roots of the tree. And what happens is, literally, it's just insane. It's like the tree says, I want this. The mushroom says, I shall go and get that for you. Goes off to that part of wherever it is within, potentially acres or miles to access that particular nutrient. Brings it to the tree root through this like 1 cell thick you can have a look at videos online of these tiny microscopic like 1 cell thick little tunnels, and it'll suck the nutrient up, and then it gets it to the root, and it goes knock knock and knocks on the root's wall, and the root softens its cellulose fiber to allow the hyphae to deliver in the nutrient. And then the hyphae then the symbiotic part of that is that fungus then gets access to the sugars that are part of the tree's makeup, and that feeds the mushroom as well. So it's magic. Anyway, magic mushrooms, there's a lot in that for lots of different reasons, not just for people off seeing rainbows and unicorns and having interesting times getting to know themselves. But what we want to talk about is medicinal mushrooms, which are also magic. But like this guy here, so for instance, reishi, probably my favorite of all the mushrooms, so the one that I need most. It's the most kind of like yin of the mushrooms family, and it's a very cooling, very calming mushroom. There's some very interesting research about its ability to work as an antihistamine. It has naturally occurring steroid compounds, not steroid-like compounds, actual steroids, but the versions of steroids that don't cause harm to us when we take them over long periods of time. They actually work with our immune systems to help to calm our immune system's response to, let's say, allergens or those sorts of things. Reishi is also calming for our nervous system as well. So we quite often treat actually the nervous system and the immune system as different things, but when one is reactive, so if your immune system is overreactive, your nervous system usually as well. And so your nervous system's response to its environment, if it's on this hyper alert state, it's more likely to trigger an immune system response as well. So we want to calm the nervous system and calm the immune system. Reishi is a great one to do that with. In this case, they put tulsi in this lovely blend that we have from Four Sigmatic. Tulsi is an Ayurvedic herb, an Indian herb, one from southern India that's really revered in Indian herbal medicine. It's known as what's called a rasayana. So rasayanas are herbal tonics that are that treat every body system. And so most rasayanas in Ayurveda are they're made up of bunches of different herbs, cocktails of herbs, and tulsi is one of the very few that is a rasayana. It's made from a single substance. And so if you go to, say, homes in Kerala, for instance, you'll see tulsi is grown in the center of their little courtyards in their houses. It's seen as a very important plant. So that guy, amazing, calms your immune system, calms your nervous system, great before bed. Chaga, on the other hand, this is a great morning mushroom. Chaga is a real stimulant, a real supportive. Now, when you say stimulant, there's no caffeine in it, but it has this great ability to wake you up. I am trying to do a little bit less caffeine at the moment, and I had 2 chaga tea this morning. I felt pretty good. I feel pretty good still. And I had some reishi afterwards. And so it's like a lovely kind of like, going through that flow of your day. It's like 5:30 now. And I know I'll be going home and doing some work later on, but not in a sort of a running around the place sort of way. And so this guy was my morning companion. And chaga is a great stimulant, great immune system stimulant as well. So the most nutrient rich of all the medicinal mushrooms, really rich in iron and calcium and lots of minerals, lots of B vitamins, lots of also interesting substances like things like betulinic acid, and all of the mushrooms, I should say, really are rich in this substance called beta-glucans. So beta-glucans are compounds that have been shown, demonstrated to feed our immune system, to nourish our immune system. One of the reasons that the kind of the baseline reason for taking any medicinal mushroom, and you can literally take any of the medicinal mushrooms and get this benefit, is that beta-glucans help to support an underperforming immune system. So a great way to kind of like kickstart an immune system if you're suffering from recurrent infections, like a lot of us do during winter. If you're getting cold after cold, then any of the mushrooms, but like particularly chaga. I've had some very interesting testimonial reports lately from customers where we've given them chaga when they've had some more not serious conditions, but where they've been tested to have low white blood cell count, and they've gone back 10 days later and had higher white blood cell count, like is in normal range and high normal range. 10 days is not usually enough to see a benefit, I wouldn't have said, but it's happened twice in the last 3 weeks, I think, that we've had those kind of testimonial reports. And if you look online and look at the reports on PubMed, etc., you'll see why that is that's maybe valid. So that's reishi and chaga. What we've also got on this month, basically you get this guy for free when you buy either a chaga or reishi. Isn't that exciting? So if you buy reishi chaga, you get a 4-sigmatic mushroom coffee mix, which is lion's mane and chaga. So this is a real Kickstarter, a cerebral, cognitive enhancing, nootropic, let's say, beverage, but it's got a really good quality organic freeze-dried coffee as a base with only 40 milligrams of caffeine, so it's not a whomping amount of coffee, but you're getting a lot of stimulant effect from the chaga. And then lion's mane. Lion's mane is a really interesting mushroom. What's it called? Heraclitus or something like that? Heraclitus? Heracinium? Oh God, Heracinium, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm not good on the Latin. But the mushroom coffee with lion's mane is one of the few substances on earth that's been shown to enhance BDNF, so it's brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is essentially what stimulates the body to make new neuronal tissue. So up until like 25 years ago, there was all this talk that if you went out on a night out and you woke up the next morning feeling a little bit dumb, you'd lost some brain cells, you killed them and you weren't getting them back. But actually, as it turns out, there are lots of ways to encourage brain cells, new neuronal growth. Lots of things you can do, like cold showers, taking things like blueberries or green tea or cayenne or those sorts of things. They activate and stimulate certain pathways that help to support cognitive function and help prevent neuronal decline. But this particular guy, lion's mane, is very specific in that it helps to support BDNF, which is a very, very useful, vital part of our cognitive function into later life, and a great way if you're studying for exams or just want a little bit more cognitive enhancement in the morning. You can try that guy. So hope that makes sense, and this special's on to the end of the month, and I hope you get to try them. Let us know what you think. Signing off for now. Ciao.